Good evening, Internet. How are we doing this fine Friday evening? My name is Kip. This is Car Chat with Kip on America Bumper to Bumper. And what we do here is we talk car news, recalls, and anything else that's fun. So let's start off by going and checking out what's going on the channel. Really, nothing is much has changed here. We've had a couple of videos that have been put out recently. Latest is a 2007 RAV4 Limited. How well it held up. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. We did lose a subscriber, and then last night during the Six Fan and Car Guy show, I had somebody come over and subscribe there. So back up to 406, which is awesome. And hey, Trucker Dave, thanks for being here. I'm gonna wonder why my computer, because I gotta do things a little bit different tonight. I got to have chat over here, so I'm gonna check if I'm actually. Am I actually? Said I'm live. All right, Dave says you're here. All right, so just gotta see why. Bear with me, Dave. I can't see. I'm doing something a little different tonight. I have computer, my wife's computer, because our other computer, our main computer, has been having some issues with too many windows loading, being loaded up on it, and it not wanting to work. So we're trying her laptop to do the live stream, but I got the stream up on our regular computer, keeping track of the live chat so I can actually see it, because this is such a smaller screen. So bear with me, and we'll get through this. All right, let's get back into our first story. And our first story comes from Jalopnik. Oh, no, sorry, Auto Blog. The new DeLorean is going to start production hopefully next year. Tell me about it, Dave. Technology stinks. But as long as everything goes as planned, next year we might finally see a new DeLorean. Yep. So the reason that this is finally going to happen is because something I talked about in previous live streams about the lawsuit that SEMA had brought up against the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration on the low vehicle production law that they tried to get done couple like 2015 or 2016, something like that, what they're finally trying to get through now. So anyways, as long as the stars align and everything goes as it's supposed to, we could see a new DeLorean next year. These cars will have a much needed engine upgrade, because the Peugeot engine that was originally in the car is no longer in production. Same thing with that terrible transmission that used to be in these things. It's going to get upgraded, pretty much everything. Bluetooth technology, heated and cooled seats, all this sort of big list of stuff. So I hope that the law actually gets done the way that they're supposed to, and in a few years or next year or so, we can finally see a new DeLorean on the roads. That'd be way fun. They are expecting that the price tag on it though will be over $100,000. I think it's, they said that if you took 1981 money when this first thing came out, it would roughly cost like $81,000 in today's money. So the upgraded engine and all the other tech that's going to be in the car, they're saying that this is going to be well over $100,000 when it does come out. The company that's making these, they are expecting to be building 1 to 2 per week once the law gets into effect. So pretty cool. If you guys are keeping track of Corvette C8 information, here's some new information that was released today. The C8 Corvette, the base model, the fuel economy was released today. So any guesses out of the 6.2 what the fuel economy is going to be? I'll give you guys a minute to think about that. All right. So Corvette or Chevrolet just released today that the numbers, put that up top, sorry. Fuel economy will be 15 miles per gallon city, 27 highway, which for a big 6.2, that's actually, I think, pretty respectable. These things are definitely going to be, at home out on the wide open road, and I'd be happy with a V8 that gets 27 miles per gallon on the highway. Another big news from 2019 was the success of the Kia Telluride. They were expecting, I believe, to only sell about 40,000 of these over 2019. The ending production for 2019, let me just scroll down here for a second. 58,000, which was well above their expected 40. And due to that and the way the sales are going right now, yes, you're probably right, Trucker Dave. 65 miles an hour, probably. But, even if you're only getting 20 miles per gallon doing 80, I still think that's pretty decent. Anyway, back to the Telluride. Kia is up, boosting production to 100,000 units. 100,000 units this year due to anticipated want. Right now, Kia has said that there's only a 7 to 8 day supply on dealer lots, and they want to make sure that they don't run into problems of not having enough of these things on the streets. So way to go, Kia, to actually have a successful vehicle. Oh, did I say it out loud? Next up, Vivian Electric Truck Company. They are, as you can see by the headline, they are planning to build electric vehicles for Ford, Ford/Lincoln, Amazon, and of course itself. Currently they are working out the whole production schedule for these. We can expect, they're saying, Rivian is saying that we can expect to see the 4-door 5-seat truck by December of this year, and the SUV model, which I'll scroll down and show you. So there's a truck and the SUV. The SUV we'll see like probably about 3 months later is what they're saying. But they're also going to be building luxury SUV for Ford/Lincoln. And they're also going to be selling an electric delivery vehicle for Amazon. So Rivian bought a manufacturing facility from Mitsubishi in Normal, Illinois. They only spent $16 million for the old Mitsubishi production facility there, which I'm sure was quite a bargain. Plus, I'm assuming that the town is quite happy to have some jobs back in the area. So, way to go, Rivian! And I do hope these are kind of funky looking, but I do hope that we actually do see these come out and that they're successful. I think it's luckily not as polarizing as the Tesla Cybertruck. Now, Trucker Dave, I'm not sure if you're still here, but if you make your way down to Texas, be careful, because you might get yourself pulled over by not this particular car here, but there is a Mustang police car bought by the Pasadena, Texas Police Department, and it will be roaming the streets. So watch out. Now, this particular car happens to be the I'd rather have a gas. I do agree. I much rather have a gas vehicle as well. I don't particularly care for how electric vehicles are being shoved down everybody's throat. And I will continue to drive gas until, till the day I die. But when it comes to a truck, that's a lot better looking. The Rivian is a lot better looking than the Cybertruck. Hands down. That's all I'm saying. Still rather have a gas truck. But anyway, back to the Mustang. Pasadena, Texas, which is outside of Houston. They just purchased this and they're actually used funds from speeding tickets to buy this. Challengers 2 for unmarked. Yeah. I loved back in the day. I know Florida, New York, a lot of them, use the Fox bodies, and that was pretty cool to see those out there. Haven't seen many. I'm sure you're on the road. You see a lot more than I would, but I think it's cool. Mustangs, having the muscle cars out there to patrol the highways, and like I say, keep your eye out if you're ever in Pasadena, Texas, for that. Anyways, as I was saying, I think I can't remember whether I said it or not. This is a Saleen police interceptor Mustang. It is not what they're that particular company is getting. I think they're just getting a GT, but nevertheless, Indiana uses F-150. Oh, that's cool. Just a standard F-150, or do they use like something hyped up like a Roush or a Shelby? Because actually, it doesn't surprise me. All right. Now I know, Trucker Dave, you do big trucks, but for the other guys at trailer with their pickups, GM is now testing trailer brake technology that could allow for trucks with trailers to stop at distances that would be similar to a truck without a trailer. And they're saying here about 40 feet sooner. The thing about this technology is the trucks pretty much already have it built in. Hey, Loaded Lid X, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. So the the trucks, GMC Sierra and the Silverado, kind of always have this, have had this technology. The issue is no trailers do. So they've got, GM has to kind of get this technology into trailer manufacturers' hands. But basically, the truck communicates with the trailer brakes, through computers, and they, everything works together to stop the truck from 40 feet sooner. So that's pretty cool. This is, like I say, new technology that they're still working on and still need to get trailer manufacturers on board with it. So the likelihood that you'll see this in the near future probably is a little more up in the air. All right. 2021 Ford Bronco. It's, as I say here, might debut sooner than originally believed. Original speculations were, well, this is definitely coming out this year, probably as a 2021, as you see, but they were expecting this to be later in the year, and they were expecting the debut to be at the Detroit Auto Show, which is now moved to June. Now there's strong speculation from a insider who remains to be, asked to remain to be anonymous, that the Ford Bronco may actually debut at the New York International Auto Show coming up in April, which that will be really cool. I'm going to try to get down there to see the show. Still kind of up in the air, but I'm going to really like to go down and check out the show this year. So we'll see how that goes. And I'd love to be able to see the Bronco if it actually does debut there. I can't wait for this thing to start shedding some of its camouflage, so we can see more of it. But it's going to be it'll be cool. And I don't remember whether I talked about this last week or not. I think I wanted to, but it ended up not. But just hope they don't ruin it like the Blazer. All signs point to them to Ford actually doing this right. Between all of the leaked patent information on door hinges and removable roof panels and all that sort of stuff, it looks like Ford is actually going to do the Bronco correct. It's going to be like the Jeep Wrangler, 2-door, 4-door, removable roof, removable doors, all sorts of cool tech in it as far as locking diffs. This is from everything that I've read. There's actually going to be, for lack of a better term, a Bronco 2 that is also going to be coming out around the same time. It's going to be a smaller version built off of the, I believe somebody said it was, I read somewhere, as the Escape platform, whereas the Bronco is going to be built off of the Ranger platform. So the only thing that I don't like about everything I've read about the Bronco is that they aren't going to be having a V8. I think that's something that could potentially hurt them. And I think if Ford was smart, they would put a V8 in there, because that is something you can't get in a Wrangler. And I think that would be a huge selling point. If you could get even a small V8 in the new Bronco, I think that would be a huge boost for them over the Wrangler. Anyway, next story. and like I say, I can't remember if I talked about it last week or not. There is a new Nissan Z car coming. Not sure whether it's going to be called the 350, the 370, or whatever, or whether it's actually going to go back to the 300. Generally, the number on the Z cars have always come from the engine size. So the 240Z was a 2.4 liter 6-cylinder, inline 6, and 2.8 to all that sort of stuff. 3 liter. The 3.5 was the 350Z, and a 3.7 was the 370. Now, from what I've read about this so far, is they're looking at going to a 3-liter twin turbo. So that if they go with the naming, that they've always done with the Z, should bring it back to a 300Z. We'll have to see whether they'll actually, go backwards in numbers since they've kind of worked it up to the 370, but we'll see. But this is everything that Car and Driver knows so far on the 370. What do you mean, Dave? Not sure what you mean by set. Z3T. That could be a good new name for it. Yeah, well, that would be interesting to if they kind of tweak that name a bit. I'm all for it, just as long as autocorrect. Okay, that makes sense now. All right, so this is supposed to debut later this year as a 2021 model. And what they know so far is it's going to be more retro. And what you see there is not the actual car. That's an illustration, a rendering of what somebody at Car and Driver thinks it might look like. But they are saying it's going to have more of a retro styling than the current cars, which I'm all for. The 240s through 280s all had a really great look to them. Twin turbo V6 power would be the same. 400 horsepower in that car would be awesome as well. That's the same engine that's in the Q50 and the Q60. 7-speed automatic is no, I think yes. Okay. The 7-speed automatic is the only transmission currently in the Infinities, but Nissan has said that they're going to be doing a 6-speed manual in this. So that's going to be another great thing to keep the manuals around for a little bit longer. 300Z. Yes. What are they going to call it? 300Z would be rational. Yes. But we guess that Nissan will instead choose a number corresponding to the car's output rather than its displacement. No, well, a 400Z does sound cool, but it doesn't go with the history the way that it should. But either way, we'll see what all that. It's still going to be rear-wheel drive. Yay. All-wheel drive is a possibility. That's an interesting thing. And then of course, the big thing is the retro styling. So be very interested to see what this car looks like, whether it will be enough to save Nissan. I think Nissan's got a hard road ahead of it. Another thing that I did read today, but again, there was too much speculation for me to decide to want to really talk about it, was that there is a new Frontier in the works, which would be a huge boon for Nissan. It does sell fairly well, and it hasn't been tweaked or redesigned in like 14 or 15 years. So the Frontier, next week, if there's some more info on it, I'll maybe throw that in there. But the Frontier is also being redesigned, which is definitely needs to be done. This is just a funny story that I had to throw in there because why not? There are people out there petitioning GM to bring back the Chevy Astro van. Good luck to them. I've driven a couple of the Astro vans. They were nothing terribly impressive, but they were kind of cool just because, van. I'm sorry, guys. I keep looking up at the other camera on the computer because that's what I'm used to looking at. So anyways, fans have petitioned. It started last week on change.org. As of the time of this writing, which was 6 days ago, there were 400 people that have signed on to ask GM to restart production. This could be an interesting prospect because trying to think of Sprinter van instead of rear-wheel drive van. Yep, I do agree. The Sprinters, which basically is a what do I want to say? It's a Mercedes, at least the older Sprinters. I don't like the newer Dodge vans that are actually the Fiats, but the old Sprinter vans are actually Mercedes. So if you want something a little bit better quality, yeah, definitely go with the Sprinter. I hope that they don't do what they say here and bring it back as an electric vehicle. And I really don't believe that they're ever going to bring back the Astro. It was just enough of a funky vehicle that, it won't be back. All right, quickly, we're going to go through some automotive recalls, and then that is going to do it for this evening. So first up, 2011 through 19 Corollas, the 11 through 13 Matrix, and the 2012 through 18 Avalons. Almost 2.9 million cars, and they are being recalled because of airbag. The airbag control unit may malfunction, possibly disabling the deployment of airbags and the seat pretensioners. In the event of a crash, airbags and seat pretensioners that do not deploy can increase the risk of injury and or death. So, bummer on Toyota to have to deal with all of that. The 01 and 02 Acura CL, MDX, and the 2000 through 03 RL, 2000 and 01 TL, Honda CRV, Odyssey from 2000 and 2001, and the 2000 Accord and Accord and Civic. 875,000 are affected, and I think it has to do with airbags. Yep. These vehicles may have received a replacement front airbag module as part of the vehicle repair. Due to a manufacturing issue, the replacement inflator may absorb moisture, causing the inflator to rupture or the airbag cushion to underinflate. Ouch, that they can't get the airbags right. Oh well. What else we got? A whole lot more of Acuras, Accords, Odysseys, and the Isuzu Oasis. And this is... All right. This is also an airbag issue on 1.5 million vehicles. They do not contain phase-stabilized ammonium nitrate propellant. Due to a manufacturing issue, blah, blah, the absorbent, that's basically I think the same thing. BMW 3 Series and M3 from 02 to 05, 292,948 vehicles. are a part of this recall. And they have to do with the Takata airbags. I thought these things were all taken care of by now, but apparently not. Come on. There we go. More BMWs. 59,000, almost 60,000 of them for airbag issues. Same, basically the same sort of issues that were in the Toyota recalls. Another Toyota one. Oh no. I'm going to guess it's for airbags. Let's check this out. 695,000. No, fuel pump. Okay, good. It's good that it's not an airbag issue. Yes, that's what it's looking like, Dave, that they got gypped on the replacement airbags as well. All right, so we got 18 and 19 4Runner, Highlander, Camry, Sequoia, Land Cruiser, Sienna, Tacoma, Tundra, 18 and 19 Lexus RS, and a bunch of others, 19 Toyota Avalon, Corolla, and some more Lexuses, 695,000 of them for low pressure fuel pump inside the fuel tank may fail. And if it fails, the car is going to stall, and that's going to lead to a potential for crash. Toyota, they had a good run. All right, yes. My lovely wife just put in there that I should mention about our Equinox. So we have a 2020 Equinox that very, very soon we're going to have a video out on it. And I was driving home the other day, and the check engine light came on. 5,000 miles on it. Check engine light came on. So Monday we have to take it over to the Chevy dealer and see what is going on with it, and we'll let you know what happens to it next week. All right. Nissans. Got a bunch of Nissans. 307,000 airbags. Ferrari. Oh, is it going to be airbags? Let's see. 09 and 11 through 11 California, and 10 through 11 Ferrari 458 Italia. Airbags. Yeah, I hear you, Dave. I truly hope that I have some money left over from taxes to be able to get Zelda back on the road this year. It's so much easier and nicer not to have to, deal with a bunch of nonsense that new cars, everything is anyway. Subarus. Airbags. 111,000 vehicles from Subaru for airbags. I think that's going to be the big thing for this roundup. We're going to do a couple more, and then we're going to Subaru. Yeah, Subaru. Gosh, come on, screen catch up. There we go. Airbag. Thinking about a newer car this year, but a nice 70 wagon is sounding better. I'm all with you there, Dave. Actually, what if I could really, if I could find someone to buy Zelda for a decent price, what I really want to do is I'd love to get myself into a Suburban, kind of stay on the square body craze that goes on, but there does not seem to be a lot of people doing anything with Suburbans on YouTube. Either that, or I'd love to get a crew cab, a square body crew cab, which that's kind of way farther out of the question because Those things are stupid expensive. But anyways, if I could get myself a Suburban and start rebuilding it similar to what Jason's doing over on Old Car Auto Guy, that I would like even more than Zelda. Anyways, back to recalls. We'll do a couple more of these, and then I think we're going to call it a night. Let's see if the Fords, 600,000 Fords are for airbags. No. Oh, good. It's not for airbags. Let's see. 2006 through 10 Fusion, Milan, Zephyrs, and MKZs, 600,000. The valves within the ABS hydraulic control unit may react with brake fluids containing specific corrosive preventative additives. This reaction may cause valves to not close properly. And the valves do not close properly. Additional brake pedal travel may be required to stop the vehicle and increasing the risk of crash. All right. It's nice to see something that wasn't an airbag. It would be cool. The crew cab square bodies was a popular farm truck in Texas. Oh, yeah. I'll give you an absolute great story about the crew cabs. I, even as a very small child, have loved the square body crew cab. I'm originally from upstate New York, right off of Lake Ontario. There is an island in Lake Ontario called Association Island. I don't remember what company owns the island, but that's what they would take crew cabs, square bodies, onto the island. They'd run them around the island doing whatever they needed to, keeping, buildings up or whatever that are there. And after, 4 or 5 years, sell them. And a friend of the family somehow always got, his first dibs, or they got, they always got them. These trucks, after 5 or 6 years of service, because the island is so small, and that's the only place they were ever driven, they would get these trucks with like 16,000 miles on them. And this family always had them, always had multiples of these trucks. So as a teenager, we go to visit this family. And at that point, my stepfather owned an 84 Suburban, 2-wheel drive Suburban. And this family, guy, Bruce, he offered to sell my stepfather one of those crew cabs. And he didn't take him up on it. That the crew cab was I think it was a 90 or 91. Literally had 16,000 miles on it. And not a speck of rust, nothing wrong with it. Beautiful thing. And my stepfather wouldn't do it. He then later on traded the Suburban for a conversion van. And I so kicked him for not getting that. But yeah, the military used a lot of crew cabs, Fords. And see those, I would love to see a crew cab, an early crew cab Ford. I do like the F-150 crew cabs that they had in the late 80s and in 90s. Those are pretty nice too. Square bodies. I mean, anyway. Anyways, back to this particular family that I grown out of touch with. From what I understand, still has a couple of those crew cabs, sitting around. So in an ideal world, that's true. That's very true, Trucker Dave. I kick myself almost daily for some of the vehicles that I've sold over the years too. All right, last recall is the GMs, and I actually think we talked about this on another live stream, but we'll go through it real quick. 19 Silverados, Caddy CT6 and the Sierras, 463,000 of them for electronic brake control module software errors. Yeah, I do remember talking about that. And yeah, so, and yes, Pete, thank you for being here. I do have to agree. Yuck. I don't like the style of these trucks at all. It really kind of, I am a GM guy through and through. I love General Motors. A majority of the vehicles that I've had are General Motors. But that truck makes me want to, not only does it make me want to throw up, but it also makes me want to buy Dodge, which I never, ever thought I would say. Yeah, so that's going to do it for all of the news that I have. If you guys want to continue to chat in the comment section, we can definitely do that. But if you guys are happy for tonight, I'm happy, and I've gone through everything that I've needed to talk about, and we will call it a night. So I'll give you guys a second. We can talk more car stuff, or call it a night.
I'll get the crappy spin out of the way. Hello. Marvin was talking shit about you.
All right. Well, we're going to end the stream as we do with all of our live streams and videos. Dreams without ambition is like a car without gas. You're not going to get very far. God bless. Take care. Have a great weekend, and we will see you Wednesday at 8 p.m. for Buy It or Boot It. Take care. Have a good night.